Here, how we doing, chat? Happy Monday, February 2021. Hopefully, you guys are having a good start to your week. It's been a fun weekend for me. It was a kind of a laid back weekend. We didn't have like an NFL slate to break down, so we kind of had a Saturday night off, and we had just kind of a small slate on Sunday. So it was kind of like back to what life will be without NFL for a while. We do have the Super Bowl this weekend to kind of sweat and enjoy it. But then after that, NASCAR. We get NASCAR back in the mix. I'm happy for that. Hopefully, it won't be that long between now and spring training. It was less than 30 days, but it looks like the union and the owners are talking about, or at least trying to negotiate an opening day. So, or not even opening day, just when they report the spring training. I've heard that there was a proposal to push it back a month because the Arizona mayor had asked for that delay so that the COVID situation could go down. And it's a whole big old thing. But hopefully, point is that we don't have to wait that long for baseball to help fill up our days. But we get all kinds of time and opportunity to grind NBA between now and then. We do have the All-Star break in a couple weeks, but NASCAR's coming back. Maybe you dabble into hockey just a little bit. We are live at youtube.com/Gundacker. If you guys are live, if you follow me on Twitter, show some love. Share the stream, man. I tweeted this stream link out a couple minutes ago. If you guys hit the retweets on that, I would love you forever. If you're on Facebook or whatever, just drop a link, man. We're trying to grow the channel a little bit. You guys know the vibes here, right? We are not some elitist exclusive group, man. We out here showing love to everybody. Speaking of showing love, live chat, you guys are in it right now. Shout out to Darren. Shout out to Just in Sports. Crispy, Quan. Crispy says, what's up, Gun? I need some solid value because I want some studs tonight. There are some studs tonight for sure. Says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth stream. Chat, let me know if the stream is not smooth. Mitchell, what's up, Mitch? Put the Rip Screech in the chat. Let's go. Yeah, I had to show him some love, right, man? That's the Screech I want to remember, man. I love Saved by the Bell as a kid. Who paid for Gun's high school picks? Thing is, there's probably going to be viewers that have no idea what that's from, right? Are we lagging? Are we lagging, chat? Let me open up here. Looks like my output, 60 FPS, 12% CPU. That's normal. If we're lagging, I'm going to blame it YouTube. But if we're not lagging, I think we're good. Because I'm not seeing any frame droppage. I'm not seeing anything. We good, chat? Get some thumbs ups. If we're good. What's up, Seven Avante? What's up, Shane Alexander? How you doing? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Pete says you can't have spring training in Arizona, but you can play hockey with fans. Yes, it's very dumb. Like, the thing is with spring training, no one would care. Like, no fans for spring training. Cool. It's just like the regular season. Let's just get the training going and start on time. Or just move spring training. Screw them. I know like they have all the facilities and whatever, but come on, man. It's got to be somewhere else that has like a complex of baseball fields to get things going in warm weather. Florida seems to not care. I don't know. What's up, Adam Shockley? How you doing, buddy? It's been a while. Shane says Porzingis is a FanDuel lock. Yes, sir. Hey, you guys play yesterday? Here's what happened yesterday. Nikola Jokic now has to pay child support on Rudy Gobert. It got ugly. 47 real points in that game. He had like 20 plus in the first quarter. It was redonkulous. That was not on the main slate though. That was a floating game before then. Russell Westbrook against Kevin Durant. You knew it was coming. It was one of my favorite plays. He was dangerous at 9K, 73.5 DKP. What an incredible final minute or two of action in that game for the Washington Wizards to pull up an upset. James Harden was out for that game. Andre, the Giant Drummond, the 2020 against the Timberwolves. We'll have an opportunity to curtain call that tonight. In the same matchup, KD did what he was supposed to do at 10K. Pascal Siakam against Orlando. His success came at Fred VanVleet's failure. Anything else of notice here? Jeff Green with a 40 bomb. Joe Harris with a 40 bomb. He was pretty cheap on FanDuel. Take some shots on that. Anthony Edwards. I had him in a couple of my tournament single entries. Finally got there. We've been talking about Anthony Edwards as one of the highest per minute shot chuckers. Sooner or later, those shots would fall. Kind of like the Oubre or the Jeremy Grant. Like, they're not always going to be. He's not always going to get hot. But some of these games, he's going to actually start sinking shots. And yesterday is one of those days. So shout out to him. Emmanuel Quickly is becoming really fun off the bench. There's a nice stretch of Quickly solid games here, and I'll show you his game log as of late. 36, 37, 42. There's a 13 in the mix at Utah, but there are some slate breaking performances there. 3 of his last 4 games, 25 or more real points. We've seen a couple of Knicks just not even get playing time. Dennis Smith Jr. is one of them. A couple of the high picks. I think Obi Toppin might have been a DNP yesterday. Was it him? No, it wasn't him. It was Obi Toppin. I think it was Neil Aquina. There was like 3 guys from the Knicks that didn't touch the court last night. Yeah, Neil Aquina. So I don't know if Thibodeau's just trying to tighten up this guard rotation and create that classic Thibodeau minutes rotation, but look out for that. Nick's gonna Nick and Tibbs gonna Tib. What's up? Shout out to Edge. Oh yeah, Royal Rumble last night. That was a lot of fun. We did the Royal Rumble lottery. I still have to figure out who was the shortest female in the Rumble. Like who lasted the shortest. Like I got Jeff Hardy as the male one, but I couldn't figure it out. And I don't want to time it, so I was hoping I could find somebody else that timed it. Giannis is a lock. What's up, Isaiah Robinson? How we doing? Let's pull up. Let's get Raj in here. We're gonna get Raj in this stream, and yo. What's up, Canada?
I think you're silent, Mike. Gotten you up to unmute yourself.
Again. This guy. No, it's not me. It is me.
There you go. I told you, unmute yourself. There you go.
I thought it was my headset mic, bro. I was about to go in on you.
One of those. No, we good. Just finished a couple tuna fish sandwiches. Ready to go.
Sandwiches?
Get your protein in. Yep.
I DoorDashed some Taco Bell.
Okay.
I didn't think it would get here by the time I was on the air. 5 minutes before, I'm already like literally the stream's feed's already going. Knock. I was like, oh man. So my old lady goes and gets the food. I was like, 5 minutes? I could probably scarf down one of those burritos real quick. And I did. So burrito and fan going, but there's.
I can't remember the last time I had Taco Bell.
Are they common up there?
They're not that popular. Like they're around. Like I think but they're definitely not common. Definitely not around every street or anything. It's just I just think there's a lot more like places like Burrito Boys, Mucho Burrito, that are just a little more authentic.
Mucho Burrito in Canada sounds like the most racist establishment.
Nah, I mean it's cool. Burrito Boys is real good. It's just like good, good tacos, good burritos, good stuff.
I guess so, man. I guess so. Anyway, we got a decent slate tonight. It is a later than usual lock, so an extra 30 minutes. That's why I went live 30 minutes later. So we get some time to vibe out a little bit. Hopefully more news falls. Chat, we did put up a all-star break pass last week. If you guys want to capitalize on that, $350 gets you locked into the daily voice chats for NBA and for baseball when they come. We'll have coverage in the spreadsheet form, my proprietary spreadsheets for NBA and baseball. The baseball spreadsheet's a monster. If you guys are new to baseball, you haven't played baseball, I definitely would hold your hand and teach you the nuances, the stats, the beauty of the math behind every pitch in baseball. And it's for me, it's we could love basketball all we want, Raj. We could love football all we want.
Yeah.
Baseball is my favorite sweat because, these players I'm rostering 4 or 5 at-bats, I could almost watch every moment of my lineup and just, I don't know, feel like I'm experiencing my lineup. In basketball, it's just complete chaos going on at the same time. Same with football, kind of. You miss it. But at least in baseball, I could sweat it all. And
baseball is, I feel like, a little more tilting, though. It's just like, that stud just flops so often. Or, that stud stack. Like a Giannis type caliber is just going to fail so much more often versus in the NBA. It's a little tilting. Still with me?
Yeah, I'm still with you. Someone's at my door. I don't have a door, guys. It might be that Walmart order, babe. Already? Maybe. I don't know. Just
everyone's quick over there these days, eh? First Taco Bell, now Walmart. All the delivery dudes are on point. They ain't playing no games.
It is? Okay. Yeah, man. That's how we live the life out here. We not catching COVID. They just delivering it. Is it kids banging on the door? Okay. I thought it sounded unprofessional. Anyway, we'll get cranked up on this Slate chat. Hopefully you guys are ready. You got your pencils and papers out. We do, like I said, we do have Screech on the green screen. Rest in peace, Screech, one time. Want to remember with him and his queen, Lisa. Jesus, bro. I'm about to punt that kid off the porch, bro. What the freak? Fox, Halliburton, Barnes, Hill, nice. Rozier's out, LaMelo's. Yeah, LaMelo's in a good spot. All right, let's get cranked up. Lakers at the Atlanta Hawks. Project starting 5 for the Hawks. Dennis Schroeder, Kentavious Caldwell Pope, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Marc Gasol taking on Trae Young, Kevin Huerter, Cam Reddish Jr., John Collins, and Clint Capella. We got a 219 total and a 5.5 point spread in favor of the visiting Los Angeles Lakers of Anaheim. Q tags as usual on AD and LeBron. I gotta anticipate both of them being in. LeBron's been questionable every game this season. On the Hawks side, Trae Young and Trae Young's the notable Q. Let me double check on him. I got a probable tag now updated due to a knee injury. The Hawks' last game on Friday. The Hawks' last game was on Friday, so with 2 days of rest for tomorrow's contact, blah, blah, blah. All right, he's probable. So it looks like everyone that we think is a go is a go. The Hawks' rotation, I got 8 guys over 14 minutes projected. There might be some more guys that scatter in there. I don't know if Goodwins or stuff like that make the cut. But for the most part, I have a pretty tight rotation, meaning I got all 5 starters projected over 30 minutes of playtime and then a few guys off the bench. So I do like teams that offer me that opportunity, but when we put a team like the Atlanta Hawks in a tough matchup against the Lakers that have been the best defense in basketball, it becomes a little bit less enthralling or something to get less excited for. But at 9,300, there's still a world where Trae Young gets there. We've seen a string of 50-plus fantasy point performances from him. Perhaps you could argue the matchups were a lot softer, right? Washington, Brooklyn, Clippers, Minnesota. But 4 straight 50-pluses, 5 straight, 6 straight, 7 straight 50-pluses, Raj. This is starting to get to that, oh, God. Like, sooner or later, it's about to fall through. And for 7 straight 50-pluses, his price is, not moved. It's still at that 9.3. So you could certainly argue that as the Hawks go, so does Trae Young and vice versa. If the Hawks are going to stay competitive here, and it is a 5.5 point spread, is Trae Young going to have to muster and muscle another 50 fantasy point game? I think when we look at that Lakers defense, it does seem like the strength is in that wing and front court D. Can Trae Young get the best of a Schroeder or a KCP, something like that? And then, of course, we know his assist rate is high enough to dominate as well. So I think Trae Young's the big question mark here for the Hawks side. The Lakers, I think AD and LeBron should always, if you want to play AD LeBron, play AD LeBron. They're at 10K. They need that 50, 60 fantasy point game. But both guys I have projected right around 50 fantasy points. That Hawks defense, certainly, it's not. I think it's not as bad as publicly perceived. Capella has definitely, helped tighten things up a little bit. But because of their pace, because of their offensive efficiency, it does cause other teams to kind of play up with them. So I do think it's fair to project LBJ and AD at near 50. So I guess the question marks here is LBJ, AD, Trae Young. Are you touching them? And then past that, is there any auxiliary plays from this game that you would scatter in a player pool on a slate as broad as this one on a meager 219 total?
Yeah, I mean, so first things first, I think we got to put that Trae Young run into context. His past 7 matchups of those 50s, Portland, giving up a ton of points. We know this. Minnesota,
Yeah.
terrible defensively. Detroit, Minnesota. The Clippers game, was that the Clippers game where George and Kawhi were still out?
I think it might have been one of those.
Might have been.
But I
Yeah.
get what you're saying. The strength of schedule has just
Yeah,
been
and the
super
Brooklyn and
strong.
Washington, right? So he's at an elite run of matchups. Still Trae Young 9-3. The Lakers have looked shaky as of late. Been losing past few games. So I mean, at 9-3, they're definitely upside there. I mean, I think one of these days he's going to get you a 60 bomb. He's getting you all these mid 50s. He got 160 in there. He can get you another one. So he's going to be in the pool.
One of these days he'll get you the 60, but one of these days he's going to get you that 30, right? Like, we know that's coming.
True. That's facts. No, that's facts. He's not going to be a core piece, but I think he's in the pool. I don't want to fade Trae Young the way he's been playing. No DeAndre Hunter. I would like to think that's it's a bit of a bump that they got to replace like 10 shots, 12 shots there. Trae Young's going to take a couple of those. So give me some Trae Young here. Again, with Hunter out, is that a boost for a guy like, let's say, a Reddish or Herder? Maybe more along the lines of Reddish. Gallinari, he still seems like he's on that minutes limit, but again, with Hunter out, does he get pushed to 25 minutes? He played 18 last minutes. He's 5K on DK. If you think he plays the minutes, don't hate it. Clint Capella should be on the court a lot with the Lakers size, 35 minutes. I feel like every time he plays 35 minutes, no matter the matchup, he's going to smash. So
in deep tournaments on DraftKings,
Yeah.
any Rondo at 3,800, he got ejected last game, 15 minutes. Could he have been on his way to 20 minutes, maybe 18, 19? His per minute production can be pretty high, and you gotta believe all these guys want to play up against the Lakers, right? This is one of these younger teams that whenever LeBron and AD are on the schedule, especially just whatever team just won a championship. I don't hate the idea.
I like it. 3,800. We don't have any kind of core value yet that we really love, so that might change close to the lock when guys get ruled out. But Rondo at 3,800, I think that's a great tournament play. Tournament got more than 20,000, 30,000 entries. I'm with it. The Lakers side, you mentioned you play. Great spot for LeBron, 10-2. Got you 40 the last game. Bit of a down game against Boston. That was just a defensive game, 96-95. For that, 50, 51, 75, 42 against Chicago, 59 Milwaukee. So I mean, he's going to get you 50 plus against Atlanta, get him a ton of points. Give me LeBron. Give me Davis. Am I going to go like a guy like Schroeder, 5'6"? He could be that third piece. He get you 30, sure.
Hey,
not a core
I
player.
mean, Schroeder back in ATL, right?
Yeah, it's just the Schroeder thing. Again, I mean, not a core piece, but I think you got to keep him in the pool. But, I mean,
I definitely will have
Davis,
some shares of Schroeder here.
Yeah, Anthony Davis, 9'8". I mean, it seems like a 50 spot. He hasn't flashed like tournament winning game in a while. He's getting you 50s, which is cool. Like, he just hasn't hit that 60 mark in a while.
Yeah, but I'll take 50. But looking at this matchup I guess we'll just look at the Lakers proceeding. What has really thrived against Atlanta last couple games? The shooting guard is a little unfair because they've just run into Beal and James Harden. And then, that Clippers game was without PG and Kawhi. That's the game that Reggie Jackson played 40 minutes and went bananas. So Trae Young certainly has had the benefit of a soft strength of schedule. But point guards have been doing all right against the Hawks as well. So I have a couple of shares of Schroeder at 5'3", 5'6", because I think there is some room from upside. But for the most part, I think this is just if I get tier 3 shares of LeBron, AD, they drop 50, cool. I might do some meditating on Trae Young, right? That strength of schedule's got me a little spooked, but at the same time, the Hawks have been offensively fine and staying up there with all the powerhouses so far. The Nets are one of the teams that come to mind. So maybe Trae Young at 93 still has some meat on the bone. At 10-4 on FanDuel, we'll see. I think a lot of that money, the 10K plus range for me is looking at guys like Giannis and whatnot. And then on FanDuel, we might also have LaMelo opening. We'll see if that is a thing. Chat, what are you guys doing with this one before we move on to the next game? DeAndre Hunter's out. Yep. Reddish looking good tonight. You like some Cam Reddish, 4'6", 4'8". I could see that. Definitely seems like past Trae Young, there's some worth here. Clint Capella 8'8" on both sides, man. I don't think I'm hearing this matchup. The Lakers are just such a tough spot for everybody. And one of the things the Lakers do the best is rebound. Their offensive and defensive rebound rates amongst the highest in basketball. They don't necessarily allow a lot of blocks per game, 4.5 blocks per game allowed, which I got to believe is amongst the fewest in basketball blocks allowed per game. The Lakers, they're a little below. They have 4.5. The Clippers allow the fewest blocks. That's fun. So I don't think I'm getting the Capella here. What up, Young C? What up, K Johnson? W German says 80's career stats record versus Hawks is surprisingly meh, considering his star status. Yeah, he's still AD. Trae is not worth the money. Too many point guards cheaper to buy today. That's kind of where I think I'd land, just trying to read between the lines of the strength of schedule and understanding that this is a different spot unless somebody gets out. So Hornets at the Miami Heat. Next game on the docket. Project starting five for the Hornets. Devontae Graham, Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington, Cody Zeller up against Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Jimmy G, Buckets, Kelly Olynyk, and Bam Adebayo. Young C says, I feel you, Gun, but at some point we have to accept Capella in his 11K ways. I mean, I can't just sit here and tell you that Trae Young's had the easiest schedule and then all of a sudden think Capella's an 11K player. Capella's been right there on the soft schedules, right? So
no doubt.
We got to see him against some of the top 5, top 10 teams to buy into that, right? Anyway, Charlotte Hornets, the biggest news of this one is going to be the status of Terry Rozier. He went down last game and actually did not finish that game. That opened up a lot of minutes for LaMelo Ball to continue a really great game. He almost, I think he basically hit value in the first half, and then the second half he helped fight against the Milwaukee Bucks. Man, they were scrapping. The Bucks had a pair of games a couple days ago against the Pelicans and the Hornets.
Bucks have been a good team to target, it seems like.
Yeah. Terry Rozier is listed as questionable. Rozier suffered the injury during the second quarter of Saturday's win over the Bucks and was unable to return to the game should he not be able to play Monday night. Rookie LaMelo Ball would be in line to make his first start of his career. Ball was outstanding on Saturday, blah, blah, blah. All right, so we know the deal here. I think LaMelo Ball is one of those guys that's already playable at this price. We've seen it this year several times. I got him at 29 minutes with Rozier in for 32 minutes. If Rozier comes out, LaMelo Ball just goes up. Now, it's going to be a tougher task perceptually.
I don't think he starts, though.
You don't think he starts?
I think Malik Monk will start, and then LaMelo will start from off the bench.
That's very possible, but it could be one of those 4 minutes into the game he's on the court. So maybe I could see that. I just from a narrative standpoint, I could see them wanting his first career start to be like in Charlotte, maybe in front of some fans or something. But we'll see what they go with. But I think that's fair. But I think nonetheless, even if that lineup came out and he wasn't the starter,
you still play him. Yeah, you still play him.
Yeah. So in this spot, Gordon Hayward, I got him at 37 minutes, almost 38 minutes. The matchup is not great, right? Jimmy Butler perhaps, but 36, 38, 40, 38 minutes the last couple games. This guy's out there grinding minutes. So 7,500, if I could live with the north side of 40 fantasy points, I think it gets to a point where I just gamble on some minutes, right? Higher usage guys.
I feel like his assist percentage goes down when he plays on the court with LaMelo versus Rozier.
Everyone does.
Devontae. Yeah, it seems like, so he's going to score a ton of points like last game. He got, close to 30 real-life points, but the other peripherals just weren't kind of there for him to really smash.
I'm betting on the minutes. I'd probably throw tier 1. I can't see him getting above a tier 3 for me, but I'd be betting on the minutes. So those type of minutes for his type of volume is just I can't live without that. I mean,
I hear you.
It's a good chance.
38 minutes. Yeah.
Devontae Graham, with or without Terry Rozier, could profile well. I got him for 35 minutes projected. 27, 28 fantasy points. I'd take a shot at 5x there and then hope for a little bit more. The Miami Heat have actually been allowing an elevated amount of three-pointers per game. I think it's fair to put an asterisk next to most of the Miami Heat team metrics just because they've been so banged up and not full strength. But when we look at the broad scheme of the league, the Miami Heat are allowing the second most points via the three ball this season, and that's pancaked between the Pelicans and the Bucks. And we have just seen the Hornets play the Pelicans. Devontae Graham did not shoot efficiently against the Bucks when it comes to shooting threes. I think he only made 3 threes, which was a fun sweat because we did have the Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier over 2.5 threes prop bet going in the Discord. Terry Rozier hit it before he got injured, and we were like, oh, it's a lock for Devontae to get there now. Devontae finally hit a pair of threes in the fourth quarter to get there, but just 10 shot attempts against Milwaukee, and only one of them wasn't from behind the arc. I would expect that to hopefully change here. And one of the things about LaMelo is he is a facilitator. I do think Devontae Graham is probably better suited as a pure shooting guard, right? Just out there chucking. But if Terry Rozier was out at that price point as a shooting guard on FanDuel 5.5, I do probably get a little taste of that. Cody Zeller's had back-to-back strong games. I do not pick on the Miami Heat front court when they're full strength. Bam Adebayo, one of the better, I think, individual defenders. He helped me cash out a Rashawn Holmes prop bet when I took the under. So I kind of go with that here. What can we expect from this as a game? If we go look at that pace chart in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet, Miami and Charlotte are both league average to low in pace. So this is probably not going to be your track meet game like we got against Milwaukee. It's just, whatever happens. I do think Jimmy Butler at 8.7, 8.4 on DraftKings and FanDuel has a chip in a chair. But I'm probably not going.
I mean, if Hero and Dragic are out, he probably becomes tier 1. It's still Charlotte. Like Charlotte's, I know the pace is slow, but it's not like they're playing any defense.
So Tyler Hero, health and safety is questionable. This was expected after Hero said last night that someone he lives with tested positive for COVID.
Yeah, so I figured he's probably out.
He will likely undergo testing today, tomorrow, but if the NBA is stern on its protocols, he's technically supposed to quarantine for a minimum of 7 days. So, yeah, we could get no Hero. Dragic, left groin strain considered questionable. Dragic's already missed 3 games, and fellow guards Avery Bradley and Tyler Hero are also questionable. So, okay. So, is that contingent on Hero and Dragic being out for you to tier 1 Jimmy?
If both are out, you definitely tier 1 him. If Dragic plays, Dragic at that price, there's some upside. Even then, last game, Miami has to win these games. They're not in the playoff spot right now. They're a couple games behind, a few games. So, last game, he looked like playoff Jimmy. He was aggressive, 19 shots. Like, sometimes Jimmy in the regular season is going to get you, 35 DK points. Got you 50. Playoff Jimmy was there, 30 real-life points. So, against Charlotte, they got to win this game. If those guys are out, definitely. If one of those guys are out, I think I still might tier 1 him. I think it's a great spot for him. It's Charlotte.
So, it's just out of curiosity. DVP chat context is everything. But just for fun, I went and searched the teams giving up the most fantasy points per game to the small forward position. Number 1's Miami. Number 2's Charlotte. So that's
there you go.
That's kind of helping my maybe my Gordon Hayward affliction here.
Like you said, Miami's DVP is just all messed up because of their COVID situation. But
Absolutely.
Charlotte makes a lot of sense. Gordon Hayward is not exactly a stopper. I think Jimmy's most likely going to be a tier 1. And LaMelo, again, if Rozier is out, those guys are out, and this game becomes pretty popular with some plays, even though the pace isn't the best.
PJ, I'm getting questions about PJ Washington in the chat, man. PJ is making me look like a fool. I've washed my hands with him since Cody Zeller came back because I felt like his rebounds would go back to 6 or less. And last 3 games, 8, 9, 7 rebounds. Really only one of those games against Indiana, something I feel like I would have had to have. Against Minnesota, against Milwaukee, he got in foul trouble. So if he didn't get in foul trouble, maybe that 28 turns into a mid-30s. And 6K, you take it. But against the Miami Heat front court, man, I tend to stay away when they're healthy. So I probably continue to stay away from PJ Washington. But if you had that feeling in your bad knee with the Stormer brewing, go for it. And the same with Cody Zeller. Cody Zeller's right now putting together some strong performances, but at 5K, do I run it against a matchup that I just know I don't like? Probably not. What else we got in the live chat? Who did the green screen? That is classic. I did that. No one got the green screen today because I was on live yesterday. I was like, we'll throw some love up there to Screech. Tall the God says, let's go. Mello, Shadow, Stefan, Jeremy Grant, revenge game tonight. Why can't I quit you? Man, Jeremy Grant. There's two guys that has really burned me in the last week or two. Jeremy Grant won, and then I look at the game log and I'm like, man, he's just missing shots, man. He'll get there. And then Aaron Gordon, bro, on FanDuel, they just keep pricing him. It was like 6K and the 5K. I was like, how do I not? How do I not?
He had a good start yesterday.
Yes, he did.
I thought
injured.
I had the nuts on FanDuel. I was like, okay, it's going good, and then boom, he hits. Kyrie decides to do whatever, and just.
Gordon got injured, man.
Yeah.
And he didn't. I was like, no way. So like, we were literally in Discord, and I think Fish Fan's been on the slot machine with me for Aaron Gordon on FanDuel. It's like, how does he miss? Like, even if he got 25, we'll take it. And he effing gets injured, man. Goodness gracious. So him and Jeremy Grant, one of these days, they owe me. The flop lag, though. Oh, I don't want to miss it. K. Josh says, go on future suggestions, something to think about. Make your sheet bigger for the stream. I'm at the promos and logos. That means I'll make the sheet bigger. I can zoom in. The only thing is, if I zoom in, let me see what you're saying. You don't want to just make that area bigger a little bit. Yeah, I could probably make that happen. There's a lot of stuff that I need to get done for the stream.
I will say about Jeremy Grant, I know we'll get there, but I think DeLon Wright and Griffin kind of playing a little better, maybe taking away a little from him.
Jackson Hayes for Adams if Adams is hurt. If Adams doesn't play,
that's a lot.
Yeah, I'd be in for that. All right, let's get on to the next game here. Sacramento Kings at the New Orleans Pelicans. Project 35 for the Kings. De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, Harrison Barnes, Marvin Bagley, Rashawn Holmes taking on Lonzo Ball, Eric Bledsoe, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, and Stone Cold Steven Adams. He's going to get one board. What? 234 total, 3-point spread in favor of the New Orleans Pelicans. So we'll start with that Steven Adams news because he certainly would represent, about 30 minutes of center basketball. So let me pull up Nolan's. Steven Adams is dealing with a right calf. He was ruled out for the remainder of Saturday's game after leaving with an injury. He suffered the injury during the third quarter, with Jackson Hayes filling the resulting void. The veteran center played blah, 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 blah. So that's from 2 days ago. So, yeah, I guess there's at least a greater than average chance that maybe Steven Adams would sit this one. And if he did, Jackson Hayes is very, very cheap on FanDuel and DraftKings. On FanDuel, is Jackson Hayes a pure center? He is. So you'd give up your center spot, but he's $100 above min price, and he's going against the worst defense in all of basketball, the Sacramento Kings. So it certainly would be a spot where I would pick up. He'd probably break my value chart if I put him for 25 minutes, much less 30. So it certainly would be very viable to play Jackson Hayes. Zion Williamson starting to put together a couple stretches of games where he's, a couple rebounds more here and there. Brandon Ingram. I mean, this Pelicans, I feel like every Pelicans breakdown I do, it's like, yeah, everyone individually could get there. And now, like, Lonzo 5'7", 5'5", Ingram 8Ks, Zion, like, could I three-man stack the Pelicans on this size slate and a 234 total against the worst defense in basketball and be happy? Ingram. You don't think so?
Nah,
is it Ingram or Zion?
There's such a real correlation between Ingram's big games and Lonzo being out or not playing well. Like, all of Brandon Ingram's big games is when Lonzo's out and he has more of that point guard duty.
I don't think that's true. I think at the beginning of the season, Brandon Ingram was popping.
Yeah, because Lonzo wasn't playing. He was hurt or was just playing bad. He was getting those assist numbers were 2, 3, or 4. Those were like 6, 7, 8.
All right, I see what you're saying now. Yeah. So you're just assuming Lonzo was hurt to start the season, even though he was playing with Ingram.
Yeah, he's playing. Yeah, he's clearly playing better now. His assist totals are jumping up. So, I mean, Zion, I get, especially if Steven Adams is out. I think that's a boost for Zion's kind of rebound totals. He can finally get you a double-double here. So, I mean, he's getting there for you. Past 4 games, 41, 42, 45, 41. To get you a few more extra rebounds, couple extra peripherals, I'm with it at 7-9 against Sacramento. Jack Hayes would just be a core lock, 20 lines, 100%. In 150, you probably want 70, 80% if Steven Adams is out. Lonzo and Bledsoe, I mean, again, Bledsoe looks like he's been playing better too lately.
I'm gonna put out the stats, bro. I'm gonna put out the stats. We do stats here. We do metrics. This season, and 301 minute of sample size. Brandon Ingram, Zion, Lonzo Ball on the court together. Brandon Ingram 26.6% usage. Zion 25.5. Lonzo 19, but I'm not I don't have to leave that.
Yeah.
Point per minute, 1.1, 0.9. Essentially all been a point per minute together.
Now, I mean, look at that last 10 games. I'm just saying, in the beginning of the year, Lonzo and Bledsoe were not doing what they're doing right now. Bledsoe's new to the team. Maybe it took us some time. Lonzo's playing better. Like, you see them both playing better. Like, Bledsoe's actually been consistent the past few games, and we couldn't say that about him in the beginning of the year.
Bledsoe had a couple fake games. Remember Bledsoe and George Hill were popped off their first game, and everyone wanted to chase that. Lonzo looked like he's been 0.9 point per minute. Like, even with what I still think he's cheap. Like, what I'm asking is there a world tonight where Ingram 40, Zion 40, Lonzo 25 to 35? Yes, like that. The world exists.
I mean, Lonzo 5'5". Yeah, you want a little more.
It's the Kings, dog.
No, I'm on with Lonzo, Zion, and Bledsoe. I just think Ingram at his price. I'll probably fade Ingram today. I get it, Sacramento. I just want an 8-2. I'll just probably fade him.
Sacramento giving up the third most fantasy points per game to opposing small forwards.
I mean, are they bottom 5 against almost every position?
Not every position. Not the power forward position. Ironically, okay. I don't know. I think that the Pelican stack is in play, because one thing that we're learning about this Pelicans team is defensively they're not great, and if we look at the defensive efficiency chart, Sacramento is the worst defense in basketball. New Orleans hanging on to competing for like that bottom 5, bottom 6 spot, 113 points per 100 possessions. So this could be a shootout. It won't be a track meet. Neither team really runs a extremely fast pace, but it could be a shootout. And I think we could run it back here. De'Aaron Fox 8-2, 8-3. I could see 40 to 50 fantasy points there. For some reason, Tyrese Halliburton, he loves scoring like 29. Could see that, getting a little bump because of the matchup.
Stuffer.
Buddy Hield revenge game, 6'4", 6'5". He's had a couple of
when shooters get hot, you ride them. I think you ride the Buddy Hield wave right now.
35, 34, 50 fantasy points, 3 games straight. And getting some steals there. 3 steals against Miami, 3 steals against Orlando. I think this is a game stack.
Look at those 3: 7 for 12, 5 for 8, 6 for 13. He's hot right now.
Mm-hmm. And then I wouldn't hate a case for Rashawn Holmes if Adams was out. If Adams is out and I got Rashawn's versus Jackson Hayes, I'd take a shot.
Don't hate. I mean, don't.
I think it's a game stack. I mean, sure.
Yeah, no,
literally everyone. I think you could. I don't want to say 3v3, but this is a economically sound game stack, and there's enough value out there to make it happen. And the value could be in this game alone. Adams.
No, I get it. All those guys are in play. I mean, I will say, just because of price, my least favorite Sacramento guy is Fox. Obviously, still going to lead the team in usage, but him and Ingram just got the price. But they could both get there.
Live chat. Let's get caught up. What's up, E-Money? How you doing today? Jackson Hayes, yes. Future suggestion. Got it. WWF first. What's up, bro? That background's mad funny. I mean, it wasn't meant for comedy. Actually, Screech, he passed away today. I was just trying to show some love. Yeah. Yo, Gun, give me 2 or 3 player props you like. Zion over 24. Can you get the cat, please? Thank you. Give me 2 or 3 player props you like. Zion over 2. That's fine, but he's banging. I'd rather him tear the carpet than bang. Thank you. I love you. Give me 2 or 3 player props you like. Zion over 24.5. Giannis over 45 PRA. So, sure. I actually added a player props tab in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet. So the question was Zion over 24.5 real points. So what do I have him in my projection? Zion, it is. I have Zion at 26, so I got him a bucket, covering that by a bucket. And like I said, against the Kings, maybe. The Kings, the DVP doesn't point direction, but he's been a guy that Zion. I feel like he's got to be averaging close to 24 points a game against anyone, and now you put him against the worst defense. Yeah, I'd probably take that. And then what did you say? Giannis over 45.5 PRA. So I think Giannis leads my slate in PRA at 48.2. So yeah, I'd probably take both of those, right? Does your friend get excited about everyone? Kings versus Pelicans was the game I like too. Yeah, Adam, I think that's a stackable spot for me. Ryan, 2v2 Zion Alonzo or Ingram and Lonzo?
Zion and Lonzo, easy. I just think Lonzo takes away more from Ingram.
It does seem like so what I'll say this, if we're talking about ceiling correlation, it does seem like Lonzo or Ingram for their ceiling probably need a high number of assists. And potentially that's a negative correlation between those two. So maybe I would either go Lonzo Zion or Ingram Zion. But yeah, maybe you lower the Lonzo Ingram overlap. But I don't even think that's something I would go out of my way to do, just because I think it's such a strong matchup that Ingram could have 35 and 5 or something like that, and I'd take it. Your buddy is obnoxious as he is. That's why we have him, bro.
Speaking facts, baby. Just speaking facts.
Little friction.
If you can't handle the truth, you ain't ready to be.
No. It's not by design, but it's by design, right? There's so many good DFS shows, but I like to have a little friction, right? A little debate back and forth. If we're just agreeing monotonously on plays, it's a little boring. Knicks at the Chicago Bulls. Next game on the docket, project starting 5 for the Knicks. Elfrid Payton, Reggie Bullock, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson taking on Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams, Lauri Markkanen, and Daniel Gafford. We got a 218 total, of 4-point spread in favor of the Chicago Bulls. So fire and ice is what I call this. It's the unstoppable force against the immovable object. The Chicago Bulls, right up there as one of the fastest teams in all of basketball. The Knicks, the slowest team in basketball. So a couple possessions less perhaps for the Bulls, a couple possessions more for the Knicks. And I like that latter half because the Knicks, as we mentioned at the top of this program, they've been kind of pulling certain guys out of the rotation. We've even seen Dennis Smith Jr. Asked to be demoted to the G League just so he could play basketball. So I do think that tightens up our Knicks rotation. Out of curiosity, let me know that popcorn machine from Anoche. Was it Anoche? They don't have yesterday's up yet. Well, shoot. It's not that big. I guess I could have pulled it up on a second screen. But what I'm getting at here is if the Knicks are going to kind of tighten up that rotation, again, a short sample size, Thibodeau could be whatever. But I like a couple guys here to take advantage of deep minutes. I like Tom Thibodeau in Chicago. That's a fun narrative. Plenty of spots to attack. I think Julius Randle at 8.892. It's just one of those spots, kind of like the Gordon, Jeremy Grant. It's been a couple of games or more before he's really broken a slate at this price point. But it's certainly a matchup for him to get there. Mitchell Robinson has a chip in a chair at 5K against the Chicago Bulls front court. Elfrid Payton in a pace-up spot. You can see him peripheral his way to a decent game, but the minutes I have him projected at, I'm not warm or fuzzy. I think the guy I'm still curious with here is Emmanuel Quickley. I don't know if this is fool's gold or not, but he certainly looked like is LaMelo-esque in terms of bench production and what he's doing from a fantasy standpoint. And a lot of it is real scoring. So maybe LaMelo's not the comp. Maybe it's like Jordan Clarkson. 25, 25, 31 real points in 3 of his last 4 games. Maybe a couple of these games are products of blowouts, and maybe I back up at 5K. But he's somebody I'm very curious with to put in this pace and this soft of a matchup to maybe take a shot at 30-plus fantasy points. But I guess that's essentially what you need. The Knicks are very hard to predict. Very hard to predict. I think R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle are guys I could throw at a tier 2 just because of the matchup. And then everybody else, M-Rob and below, I just probably like take sparing shots on. The Bulls side, 9K, Zach LaVine. I need that 50-plus fantasy point. I feel like I'm getting a good deal. I think it is a range of outcomes, but I'm not necessarily pushing the issue here. And then Laurie Marketing, he was in a fantastic play that last game without Wendell Carter Jr. Dropped 42 fantasy points, 31 real points against the Portland Trailblazers. I don't think that the Knicks front court is something I'm running away from. I think the DVP chart might be a little bit modest just because of the pace and might cover a lot of their weaknesses. If we go to fantasy points allowed for, the Knicks are bottom 4. But I'm willing to take a stab on Marketing if that shot volume will be there for him at under 7K. So, what do you do with this game?
I think you might have missed the best play of the game.
What?
Tier 1, Thaddeus Young. Triple-double watch every game?
So I've been playing, I mean, that's not a secret. Like, I've been playing Thad Young borderline religiously on FanDuel because he's been a sub 5K value play at the power forward spot. He did get a price increase here, but sure, I could get down with some Thad Young at 5-1 on FanDuel. At 5-7, maybe I taper my expectations a little bit, but with the absence of Wendell Carter Jr., there's a case to be made here, and a guy like Daniel Gafford might get lost in the sauce, and might even get into some foul trouble against a guy like Julius Randle. So we can make a case here.
Yeah, Young's doing his thing, and just the way he's getting there, it's not just points, rebounds, like he's just doing it all. So I like that. Again, gonna stuff the stat sheet here. You mentioned Julius Randle, 9K guys today. Like if you play Randle. Like Bam is there. I guess Trae Young in a util spot. I think he's fine in Chicago. I mean, it looks like a smash spot, right? 9-2, 50 bomb. Sure, the upside compared to other guys. Like, does he have that 60 upside? I guess he does. I mean, he did it earlier in the year. Recently, not as much. But keep him in the pool. He's there. You mentioned quickly. I have not been playing him enough. He's been, like you said, I guess LaMelo was a perfect comparison. Cleveland, Clippers, and now he gets Chicago. Now he gets the best matchup that he's had. So he's been shooting well. I think go right back to him, 5-3, good price, still has some upside there. I guess Quickly is my favorite New York guy in the spot. I think just because of his price.
Yes, but I don't. Oh man, 5K for a Knicks backup guard.
Hey, is Thaddeus Young? He hasn't been starting either, right?
No, but that's a little stronger from the Bull side because we know they need beef in their front court. Let me go look at this Cleveland game for the Knicks here. Quickly, let's put some context. Quickly, first quarter got 6 minutes to run. Close out the fourth quarter in a blowout. Looks like. So I'm looking at some of these scores, and a lot of them seem a little lopsided. But he's still on the court with like starters, right? R.J. Barrett. I think he feels like a Jordan Clarkson guy for them, because he's on the court with Randall Barrett to close the game, and maybe he's just like he's a guy that they want to score like Jordan Clarkson. So I'm there, but I'm very skittish, right? It's very to need like he's a scoring dependent bench guard at 5K. We're asking. I don't want to say that's a ceiling price, but like 25 real points and a couple peripherals. There's a lot to expect off the bench here, but if there's a matchup for it to come through again, it certainly feels like it's the Chicago Bulls. So
we just got some breaking news. I mean, what's out? Larry Nance is out, and Drummond got a midday questionable. So I think Jared Allen is going to be kind of the lock value guy. But yeah, back to this game in Chicago. I'm probably not going to play any Zach LaVine at 9K. I get it, because by just other 9K guys, you can't play them all. Yeah. He shot 9. He only took 12 shots last game. That's a little worrisome. He shot 9 for 12, which is great, but that's a little worrisome. It just seems like with Markkanen playing a little better, takes a little bit away. And they have all the guards back: Satoransky, Kobe White, Archie, Garrett Temple, save minutes. So yeah, like the Chicago Bulls guard situation, I'm probably going to stay away from. It might just be Young and some Markkanen for me.
I might have a Kobe White at 6K on FanDuel, just a little bit.
Yeah, that's that FanDuel price. Yeah, I agree with that. There's definitely some upside there.
Right,
even LaVine, like if he gets 20 shots, does he break the slate?
I need 50. I need 50 plus, right? Bigger slate like this. Yeah. I need 50 plus.
Yeah.
Maybe for me, it's more of a FanDuel play. The Knicks do. Looks like they do have The Knicks don't even chuck 3. The Knicks are like the lowest. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe on DK I play some Levine, but on FanDuel I might get priced down just a little bit because I do think, like I said, it's a fire and ice spot. It's going to pace down for the Bulls, pace up for the Knicks. So Levine's been getting. I don't know. I don't think 9K on FanDuel is something that's giving me the warm and fuzzies. Let's move on to this next game. Like Raj said, we did just get some news via Fantasy Labs. And by the way, if you are in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord, the bot Dacker hooks you up with up-to-the-minute stuff, so you don't have to scour Twitter all the time. A bot Dacker will do it for you. And it reported in the NBA channel that Andre Drummond backlisted as questionable, midday questionable on a back-to-back, interesting, and Larry Nance listed out.
Just tell us he's out. Like, I feel like it's so obvious Drummond's out.
So I'm going to put Prince in the Nance spot. We're going to update the news down here to Larry Nance out. And then with Drummond questionable, that would open up an opportunity for Jarrett Allen at 6 to 5.5. And then JaVale McGee is in the conversation as well, right? At 3.931. So watch that. It is a 218 total, 5.5 point spread. What does Andre Drummond represent if he's unable to go? Well, just last night in the same spot, 18 shot attempts, 22 rebounds, 25 real points. So that's a lot of opportunity to replace. And I think in this matchup, we've certainly seen Jarrett Allen go bananas when given the opportunity, given the floor with the Brooklyn Nets. So if Allen had a chance to shine here, and I think it's like you said, midday questionable usually to me means they're closer to out than in. And Drummond's your rental, man. You want to protect him, right? Last night's such an amazing showcase game. You want to protect him maybe on night 2 of back-to-back and then kind of see what you got in your future in Jarrett Allen. So, yeah, we'll have to asterisk that. This is 30 minutes after Slate locks. So hopefully we do have an inclination on Drummond's status at that point. And if Drummond were officially out, I mean, Jarrett Allen's tier 1 all day, every day, right?
You love Allen and McGee. Playing Allen and McGee together in some large field tournaments, I think is just such a great play. McGee's points per minute monster. So was Allen.
Jarrett Allen is a power forward on FanDuel, too.
Ooh, bro, you play those together.
You would have access to Jarrett Allen, potentially Jackson Hayes because he's a center on FanDuel. We still like Dad Young. There's some ways to go. I think we still got the Grizzlies on the slate, right? Xavier Tillman's a power forward, but he went to 5K. So
yeah. So you can avoid that situation. I just think Prince has had some big spots where he's played a ton of minutes. Like I caught him in that big game against Detroit too. So he's been nice to me. I haven't played him. I don't mind some Torian Prince at 4-4 at the power forward spot either. Those 20 shots from Andre Drummond, I think, have to be replaced. I don't think Jarrett Allen's going to take all those shots. So, I mean, if
but Jarrett Allen can get those rebounds.
No, he'll be good. No, for sure. But it's probably a bump to Garland at his price. I think there's some upside there. Sexton, 7K, not as much of a fun click on DK, but I think that's a bump for him too. I'll probably have some more Garland, though. But you kind of I don't want to be too in love with these Cleveland guys. Cedi Osman is 4.5 on FanDuel, 4.9 on DK. Again, not running to play him, but would you be shocked if he gets a bit of a bump there and does well? No. But I think if I'm going to rank him, Jarrett Allen. Yeah, Jarrett Allen number 1. Again, that McGee, I love that McGee call. And Torian Prince, don't sleep on Prince.
All right, just out of curiosity's sake, let's take Drummond and Nance off the court for the Cavs. There's probably going to be like hardly any sample size here, but who do we want to put on? Garland, Sexton? Let's just put Garland and Sexton, right? And then take off Nance and there we go. My eyes deceive me. What's up, Jay Gentle? Yeah, Drummond's queued and Nance is out. So 12 minutes of sample size. It's not even worth talking about.
Yeah. We got to use common sense somewhat, and I think don't get cute. Play Jarrett Allen. I mean, what do you think of Prince? I think Prince, he seems like a Jeff Green from yesterday.
So I've been harping on how bad the Kings defense is, but this Timberwolves defense is bad too. It's probably I got them fourth, bottom 5 officially, 114.6 points per 100 possessions allowed. And on top of that, their offensive efficiency is like the worst in basketball. Cat out. They've been dealing with injuries to Naz Reid, so that only softens it a little bit, right? Like leaning on Anthony Edwards to play power forward or whatever they're doing. So it's a soft landing spot, and this could be one of those underestimated shootouts. It's a 218 total. I think if you take Drummond out, I think we could move that total up a little bit, right? I don't know if it's going to move now, but I'd probably take a gander at the over at 218, just knowing that the pace could go up a little bit because Jared Allen's better and faster, versus Drummond. So maybe this total reaches 222.
Nance got 16 rebounds last game. There's 38 rebounds that aren't accounted for today.
Mm-hmm.
So load up on these Cavs front court. So I mean, Prince together with Allen.
I think I don't see a argument against that. Prince, there's so many different lineups that the Cavs have kind of explored. Like you could even see just like Jetty Osman, right, start and play 38 minutes, and then Prince is the backup, or vice versa. There's so many ways they can go with this. It's essentially looking like a small ball game at best because the Timberwolves don't have a lot of size right now available. If Reed, is unable to go, they said Juancho Hernan-Gomez was available in emergency only.
That's so stupid.
So there's still not like beef there to him. So I think this game is stackable. I think Garland 5'3", 5'9" could get there. Colin Sexton, so $7K for Sexton on DK, 68 on FanDuel. He's definitely not a warm and fuzzy guy, but when I took off Drummond and Nance just as is, Sexton in just 90 minutes of sample size had a 36% usage rate. Under a fantasy point per minute, but the usage is going to be there, and I think Sexland could make an appearance tonight.
If Russell sits on a back-to-back, he's questionable again. Does Anthony Edwards, Malik Beasley become a tier 1? Edwards is really stepping it up recently. Like he seems like really kind of finding his niche. He was number 1 overall pick.
Says the Wolves have been super cautious with Russell, and you have to wonder if it has anything to do with their top 3 protected pick, as this is shaping up to be a lost season. If Russell sits, Ricky Rubio will handle the ball majority of the game and can flirt with double-digit dimes. So that would also increase minutes and opportunity and responsibility for a guy like Malik Beasley, Anthony Edwards, and then if Naz Reid were to miss, this could be like this is the Q game. But if you guys did your diligence here, like before lock, and it's like had your you ever seen the detective board, the bulletin board, the pictures and the strings, right? This guy's out, attach the string to this guy. It would just make a spider web of plays here, and hopefully it's not a lost cause at the end of the night. But this is gonna be 2 very bad defenses, with good prices, and
Rubio's price is very low.
4.6, 4.5, yeah.
Yeah, he dropped 25 in 20 minutes last game. And we saw, like I mentioned, Edwards, Malik Beasley, he got there last game, so he could smash here without Russell. Can you play 2? We're really going to end up stacking Minnesota, Cleveland on 10 minutes.
It's like it do be nuts. Like that. It'll get us a stud, right? We can do like a Giannis with a game stack of this or something like that. There's certainly there's stuff in this game I think right now as is, and then. If Drummond out. Now, what if they okie doke us and Drummond's in? We're getting like a Joel Embiid 70-point questionable game.
Right. I think he's got to play him.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, he's got to play.
So, Chad, this is the biggest game. You guys got to asterisk. Be vigilant with news coming out. I think we're done speculating ifs, ands, or buts. But before locking the run, DFS.com VIP chat, I'm sure we'll be living on that conversation. Next game on the docket.
Other big news gone. Just want to say we can finally quit Aaron Gordon. He's out 4 to 6 weeks. I'm
not going to celebrate. Ken Burke season. Let's go. Portland Trailblazers at the Milwaukee Bucks. Project starting 5 for the Blazers. Damian Lillard, Gary Trent, Nasir Little, Robert Covington, and they hate us because they ain't a Cantor taking on Drew Holiday, Dante DiVincenzo, Chris Middleton, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Brook Lopez. A 236.5 total. The Milwaukee Bucks favored by 9.5. Is it a sucker bet to say, the Bucks struggled against the Pelicans, struggled against the Hornets? Are they going to cover 10 points against the Blazers? I'm not going to touch that, but yeah, the Bucks definitely are looking for a get-right spot here, and they're going against an understaffed Blazers team, and there is a lot of responsibility in Damian Lillard tonight at 10K and 10.7K on DraftKings and FanDuel. If this game stays remotely close, right, it's a Lillard big game. I have him at 50-plus fantasy points, giving him 37, 38 minutes. There's certainly a world and a range of outcomes where this game becomes a blowout because of just how, I don't know, maybe you just put Drew Holiday on handcuff duty and slow down Lillard the best you can. And then you're leaning on Gary Trent, Nazir Little. It gets ugly. So I guess I got to ask, man, what do you do with this game? Do we believe that the Bucks aren't just one of those in-season slumps, right? We're a couple weeks away from the All-Star break. You're getting a little jet laggy and fatigued, and you're ready for a break. Is it too early for that? Or is this just
I could start every lineup with Damian Lillard and Giannis,
you would? Okay, there's so many ways to think about this, and I think maybe you start,
again, Damian Lillard, big game player. It's Milwaukee's a good team. Portland, I feel like, should be a better team than the way they're playing.
I don't.
I think Lillard will keep them in it. This could be like a 40 real life points, maybe pushing 50 to keep it close. Give me him. Give me Gary Trent Jr. in this spot. This game should be. This game does that have the highest over under on the slate?
Over under. Let's see.
I think it's the highest game total. So yeah, highest game total.
There. Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah, so it's up there. So I would expect this game to be the highest scoring game on the slate. I don't think it's a blowout. I think it'll stay close. So give me Lillard. Give me Gary Trent Jr. at his price. Clearly taking over the CJ McCollum role here. Been shooting well lately. Like you said, Milwaukee giving up a ton of threes. Gary Trent's going to shoot some threes. Lillard's going to shoot some threes. So I like those guys. Cantor, the way centers break it down today, I probably don't get to him, but I think he's a good, decent spot. 7-2. I think there's some meat on the bone there. He's flashed some upside, but a lot of games give you mid-30s. You definitely want 40-plus at that price. And Milwaukee side, if Giannis is playing 38 minutes past the game, if he's played that many minutes, you just play him every single day until he's 12K. He just seems like a lock for 60-plus at those minutes. And I probably won't get to Middleton or Drew Holiday just because of their prices.
What do you think is the average range of outcome for Damian Lillard tonight?
Average range of outcome? I think he probably has a floor of 45 here and a ceiling of like 75.
So I just had curiosity. StatMuse, Dame versus Drew Holiday. He has scored over 45 fantasy points once in the last 10 games against Drew. And all of those games were against Drew on the Pelicans, and that team defense was worse. Then I looked up Dame versus the Bucks, and he's got 2 games in the last 10 at 50 or better, and the rest is under 50.
With McCollum, were those games?
Sure, we could do whatever you want here. There's certainly context lost, but it's not like he has a historical smash success against either Drew Holiday defense or the Bucks.
That Drew Holiday defense is a little worrisome.
At 10, and when a team can key in on you, right? You could look at the Hornets and the Pelicans. You can't key in on one guy, right? They're spread out, and the Hornets have shooters too. Rozier, Graham, Gordon Hayward, LaMelo. The Pelicans spread out too. Lonzo shot 10. I think it was 7. It hit 7 threes that game. And they got Ingram, they got Zion, they got stuff. This defense can kind of key on Damian Lillard, and if we lose to Nazir Little, then we lose. So I worry about that. And the second part of that is Damian Lillard's 10K, 10-7K. I need that. Like, I can't have less than 50, and 50 probably does no good anyway. So I don't think I'm there on Dame today. I might sit this one out. I'm still at least intrigued at Giannis Antetokounmpo because he outsides and outmatches everybody in his front court, and he's my highest projected scoring player. So I'll take a shot at the raw points. But even for him, 11-6, 11K. I don't know. I just don't know if I buy that the Blazers survive here because the Blazers surviving against the Bucks when they're on probably means 50 real points, right? Like
that's what I'm saying for like Dames. I don't want to miss out. Like Dame's one of those guys where I get the matchup stuff. He has a bad history against Drew. It's Dame Dollar. You know, he has that upside. So I mean, you're gonna fully fade it.
I might at 10 and 10-7. I might. Like if anyone's out there playing Dame, like you want to, like I'm not pushing back, but my reasoning I think is there. So I probably sit this one out on Dame, and I'll live with the mid-tier point guard, maybe the LaMelos of the world on FanDuel. Jesus, FanDuel. It's there's 3 10K point guards on FanDuel tonight, but you go down a little bit more. You know, De'Aaron Fox, Pelicans have proven not to be a juggernaut defense. John Moran against San Antonio. I just played that. It didn't go well, but what are you going to do? LaMelo could be a lock regardless. Kobe White's in the mix. Lonzo's probably too cheap. Darius Garland, potentially without German. Ricky. Like, I think this might be a cheap point guard night for me. And then...
I think with all that value, it's easier to get him on DK. With those other guard spots, right, with the util.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably, like, there's going to be... So we've already identified potential value at the center spot if Jackson Hayes gets the call up. Power forward spot, potentially with Jared Allen on FanDuel. So I guess there's going to be several ways to construct lineups tonight. And maybe you just take the 50 raw points from Lillard if you think that's what the min that you walk away with. But
yeah.
I'm
I mean, that Drew Holiday stat is worrisome. Like, I mean, that is... I mean, like you said, he was on the Pelicans who were running a fast pace, so you would think...
Drew Holiday basically sent the Blazers home in the playoffs. All right, let's go. Let's get caught up on chat here. There's one guy out there, Raj, and luckily it's you this time. The other, like, I did a couple solo streams where somebody was just like making multiple accounts to troll me. There's somebody out there running multiple accounts to hate on you, and our homie Dang Lazy Mofo is just like bam, shooting him down.
Hey, shout out, Mofo, shout out.
Mark K says I love Giannis and Lillard. Everything else is blah. So I mean, and from that line of thinking too, like there might be enough value to go Giannis Lillard and then just fill up on the value guys, right? If the floor fell out on Drummond and we just load up and Steven Adams, like there might be value. What do we get? Giannis and Lillard on DK would leave us with 4-7. So just
you need that value though. Then.
If it gave us guys like Hayes, LaMelo's not really that cheap.
I think Rubio.
Rubio, guys like that. So. It's fun
it's
to
still
do.
Hard. Like you're still giving up quite a bit. Like even you throwing those guys in there, it's you're giving up some pieces.
The rebounding rates for the Milwaukee Bucks really good. Enes Kanter at 7K is probably like I'm conflicted here because I do like him in fast-paced spots, but it's really not like a great elite spot for him. He did get 34 minutes against Chicago, which helped me. Like it relieves some doubts that I had because I thought maybe with Rocco in that those front court minutes might get lost, but I think he played a season high 34 minutes. With that said, 34 minutes against Chicago Bulls, I probably would expect more than 40 fantasy points, much less 37. But he did double with 20 and 11.
What are you doing, Gary Trent?
Trent's been fine, and I think if you do want to take a step back on Dame. Because you think Drew could contain him, maybe you look at somebody else to step up. Gary Trent's been playing minutes, 37, 38, 41, even with Rodney Hood in the mix. The minutes are there for him. Threes.
Everything.
And that's what we like, right? We like three-point chuckers against the Milwaukee Bucks. We look at the team metrics chart in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet. Milwaukee is giving up the third most points per game via the three ball. So maybe Gary Trent.
That's what I'm saying with Dame, too. Like, Dame, 17 3 attempts last game.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. But like I said, he's still I think Gary Trent makes a lot of sense here. I think Gary Trent, he's second on the team in probably shot volume and three-point attempts?
Yep.
If not the most three-point attempts if Dame starts dishing here. Gary Trent under 6K. Could I get... What do we want? 24 real points? The peripherals aren't there. He had 4 steals against Chicago, a little bit on the fake side. But he had, I put Gary Trent in a tier 3. Because he might even be blowout proof. That he'd just be out there no matter what. So I'll get down with some Gary. For sure. Is Gary shooting guard on FanDuel? I don't mind Gary. Yeah, he's shooting guard on FanDuel. So
I wish it was like 5K or like 4.9, like 5.7. It's touching.
Yeah,
a little bit on the uncomfortable side.
He's basically Devontae Graham at the same price range on FanDuel.
That's a 1v1 then. Devontae Graham with him. I mean, you probably have to go with Devontae.
Mm-hmm. If Rozier was out, it probably makes that stronger. Yeah. Mark says 10 games. We got prepared to build some winning lineups. Yes, sir. Adams out. Great news. Did Adams get rolled out? I didn't see that yet. But if he is,
that's a tough dude. Yeah, he usually plays, but.
Aquaman. Let's move on. Rockets at the Oklahoma City Thunder. Project starting 5 for the Rockets. John Wall, Victor Oladipo, Jayshawn Tate, PJ Tucker, and Christian Wood taking on SGA, Theo Maledon, Lou Dort, Darius Baisley, and Al Horford. 223.5 is our total. 5-point spread in favor of the Houston Rockets. Rockets have stepped up defensively, Raj. People maybe not understand. I don't want to say understanding, but it's easy to just forget that the Rockets are even a team now ever since trading away. Look at some of the recent Rockets scores. Suns 109, Pistons 102, Mavs 108, Wizards 88, Blazers 101, Pelicans 112. So their defensive efficiency is actually going up. Their points allowed per game going down. Moving on from James Harden.
John Wall and Oladipo are, I want to say, 2 guys that defend.
Yeah, I mean, it's way better than Harden. Yeah. And then PJ Tucker and Christian Wood, just when the team starts playing more defense, other guys have to buy in and play defense. So this game having a 223 total, I'm not expecting much from either side. The defensive efficiency from the Thunder is lower than what we know from last year, but that makes a lot of sense, losing Chris Paul and the gang. So what do we do with this game? I think SGA 8-3, 8-1 still has that chip in a chair for 40 to 50 fantasy points. We did see a stretch of him doing that. It was correlated with the absence of Al Horford for a couple games, a couple really softer matchups. He only got 31 minutes against the Brooklyn Nets. That game went a little lopsided. Maybe that 31 minutes played turns into 35 if the game stays a little bit more competitive. So we could have got us that 40-plus there. But again, this matchup not necessarily elite by any stretch. And Horford's back in the mix. Theo Maledon has been a thing for me in the absence of George Hill. 30 and 33 minutes his last 2 games, 24 and 36.
He's coming through.
He has. But the Thunder scored 125 real points against the Nets. They were blown up by 20. It was basically prevent defense towards the end there.
Yeah. I
don't think the Thunder are in line to score this much, and this matchup is not as soft as the Nets without KD. So I have very low and tapered expectations all across the board. I still think there's, in a vacuum, isolated value for SGA, Maledon, even Horford to an extent, but I'm not pushing issue there. Just by themselves they could get there, but do they get there collectively, and do they get there to a point where I need them at the end of the night to win a tournament? That's up for debate. And then on the Rockets side, what are we doing here? John Wall, 7-2 on FanDuel, 6-9 on DraftKings. Depot sitting at that 8K range on both sides. And Christian Wood's still probably too close to 9K for me to be comfortable, considering that I think with their defense going up, I think the pace takes a step backward a little bit. And maybe Christian Wood's better suited as an 8K, 7-5K player. But he's going against...
What this game's looking like.
What's it looking like?
Looking like a scratch off. Looking like a game you might want to cross off your list.
So maybe for me, but I don't know if I just want to rule out Depot just yet, because Depot got there in 25 minutes against the Pelicans, still dropped 40 plus. And in that game prior against the Blazers, the minutes were higher. So if we think the game stays more neutral in terms of score, like Depot still might be in the conversation to play. And I think it's even a fun debate, Depot versus like SGA 1v1. I don't think I want to get rid of Depot.
Yeah, no, I hear. I think John Wall actually better at his price. Like, if he plays 30 minutes at 6'9", I think he could really smash, get you 45, close to 50, which would be great at that price. 26, 30, 24, 21 minutes pass per game. So again, so he played 30 in Portland. Like I said, New Orleans was a bit of a blowout. It was a close game. He plays 30. I think I like him points per dollar more than Depot. Depot too, 8K. He's getting you 40 plus. If you plays 30, smash that. So I get it. It's there. I mean, but we talked about other couple guys already at 8K. So I think it'll be tough to get to. Guy like Al Horford, center position, ton of value. He's been killing it, point per minute beast past couple of games. Been hot from 3, 5 for 5, 4 for 6. He keeps that going. But the OKC minutes, so last game was just a blowout. That's the reason why these starters didn't see a ton of minutes. Because you can you can go right back to him.
Yeah, no warm and fuzzies on anyone, but yeah.
Yeah. I like the Houston guys. No, Christian Wood at that price. I'm not paying 8-9, but Christian Wood when they're fully healthy. I think Oladipo and John Wall definitely have some upside if the minutes are there. Is John Wall some sort of minutes limit?
I know they had been monitoring him as he came back. We said 26 minutes. Game got a little lopsided. 30 minutes.
I want to say he's probably going to be an 8K player.
If he's a 30 to 33 minute player, 34 minute player,
35 minutes.
35 seems like I'm pushing it, but yeah, I guess he played deep minutes earlier in the season. I think he could be an 8K player. I don't think that's his median. But yeah, he's just missing the boat on 40 a couple shots, right? At 6'9" on DraftKings. So yeah, I can get down with some Wall here for sure.
If we get some news on his minutes, I think that'd be good leverage.
Let's move on to the next game. Phoenix Suns at the Dallas Mavericks. Project starting five for the Suns. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, maybe question mark, tilted head side. Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, DeAndre Ayton taking on Luka Doncic, Josh Richardson, Tim Hardaway Jr., Dorian Finney-Smith, and Kristaps Porzingis. So shout out to DeAndre Ayton getting there for me. Finally, yep. I stayed at the slot machine. I never lost doubt. Let's go to the Phoenix Suns injury report, though. I will say that last game was without Porzingis, and I think Kleber is back in the mix. So their front court is going to get a little stronger.
I think getting 17 rebounds again.
Right, but that was the thing, though. The Dallas front court has just been giving up really high rebound games. So Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker, the one to watch, hamstring, questionable for Monday's game against the Mavericks. Booker did go through shoot-around on Saturday, and he appears to have come out unscathed. He could end up as a game-time decision, but managers will weekly. So looks like Devin Booker's at best questionable. If Devin Booker's in, it seems like enough to ruin everything. It's a low total. I think the Mavericks defense gets better with Kleber and Porzingis and everybody back in the mix. And then the Suns have already been kind of above average defensively. So might be an X game for me, but Doncic still exists at 10-7, 10-8. To where you can
Luka
say
versus Lillard is interesting.
And that's what I was getting at. Like, you can make a case that maybe, I don't know this to be true, just a guess. Like, if more people playing Damian Lillard than Luka Doncic today, it makes sense. Especially the game log watchers. Lillard's game log kind of look a little bit sexier than Luka's. There's obviously a world where not only could Luka just outperform Dame 1v1, but Luka could be the highest scorer on the slate. Matchup's tough. So I'm not excited. It's just a game theory thought. But if Porzingis is in, if Booker's in,
away a little bit.
Like if Porzingis and Booker are in, and Kleber's back, and there's nothing in this game that I feel like I want, necessarily have to have. So let's play the if fans. If Devin Booker is out again, Chris Paul 8-2, DeAndre Ayton 8K. Are you getting there? Either one of them, maybe a little taste of Ayton, because Ayton's metrics have been fine. There was that 5 real point game anomaly, and then there were some blowouts, and then that last game was kind of what we expected. So maybe that's my answer is Ayton if Booker, but there's nothing else here that I'm excited for.
Chris Paul is just so annoying. He's literally winning you tournaments or losing you. It's 50 plus.
Even Paul, 2 games ago, 27 minutes against Golden State, the blowout. These guys didn't come they didn't come back in the fourth quarter, and Paul was still a point per minute. But yeah, 8-2 for Chris Paul. Even in his Clipper days, that was still just a 40 fantasy point play. So I don't feel like I'm missing out on the world here. But if Booker's out, could I go back to maybe a Paul Ayton handcuff? And we've seen a ceiling on Chris Paul, touching almost 60 fantasy points that last game.
Ayton's gonna be so hard to get to. like with the center position.
Yeah, if Drummond's out, Ayton is definitely going to be in no
Yeah,
man's
if
land.
Drummond and Adams are out, I just think getting almost no ownership. So I think it'd be a great tournament play if you really want to get leverage on the field. Chris Paul without Devin Booker, I'll keep on playing. It's just he's going to be taking more shots. It's kind of his show to run. I think Dallas, when they're fully healthy, would keep it close. I don't expect a blowout. So even a guy like Bridges, if Devin Booker's out, he's had some big games. At 5'8", I think there's some meat on the bone there. So give me some of him. Dallas side, I mean, like you mentioned, Luka's going to be Luka, triple-double threat. I think Lillard or Giannis will probably be like the highest known guy that's not a value guy. And I think Lillard might creep. Because on the surface, it seems like a great spot. Like people just saw Milwaukee having close games with teams that they probably shouldn't be. And then you have Damian Lillard coming in, and people think that big game. I don't think everyone's going to look up that Drew Holiday stats. So depending on that ownership, I think it'll be interesting. Luka might be an interesting pivot from Lillard. But I do think Lillard's going to be insanely high owned if all that value opens up.
This is true. These are facts. We have 2 games left on the docket. I think it's a good time to take a pause for the cause. Class, stand up, stretch a little bit. Mark K carrying the chat right now. We got 150 live viewers, and it's just like Mark K. So shout out to Mark for being active. I think everyone else is just like listening, getting their work done. You guys are awesome as well. Hey, after the stream is the after party, and after the party is the Discord lobby. If you guys want to hang out with us for the 2 hours before lock, I'll be in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP Discord chat. Shout out to Darian posting videos opposite me while I'm on the air. This mother. If you guys
will give him a like.
Oh yeah,
check
out Darian bought the green screen last one day, right? If you guys want to chat with us, man, I'll be in the RunDFS.com and VIP voice chat. Before lock, we grind, man. We talk player props. We have fun. We shoot the breeze. It's very informal, formal, but it's just the bros hanging out. You guys are more than welcome to be part of that or just listen in. You can type questions in the NBA chat if you didn't want to grab a mic, but you're more than welcome to turn that mic on and chat with us. We've added the props and betting side of things. I did add a props and betting tab in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet. And then, of course, I'll be listing my personal player pool for both sites, my tier 1s, 2s, 3s, values, and stuff like that. So if you guys are just looking to join a community of like-minded grinders, we'd love to have you. In addition to NBA coverage, we'll have Super Bowl coverage this weekend. Our buddy Kyle from Fantasy Domination gives us his best spins, looks, and guys he's targeting in NHL. And we have NASCAR on the horizon in just a couple weeks. I think Daytona getting warmed up, so still plenty of DFS to play, even with NFL taking a bow. Come be part of that. If you guys do want to be part of that, go to RunDFS.com, make yourself an account, try out a week pass, just try it out, see what you think. I've offered this deal to a couple of people on Twitter. If you like the content and you're curious about that All-Star to All-Star break pass, which is at $350 right now, and what that is, that'll get you all things VIP until the MLB All-Star break, tentatively scheduled for the second week of July, but that's subject to change. If you try it a week pass, you've never been a Viper before, and you like it, I'll go ahead and put that week pass subscription towards your All-Star. So it would be, instead of $350, it'd be like $320. So if you want to go check that out, hit me up on Twitter if you want that deal. Definitely don't mind it. But yeah, that's our break. So you guys want to show me some love, do that. But if you don't want to get VIP and you still want to show some love, hit the thumbs up on this video. And just interact with it. Even the thumbs down. All the trolls that are hitting thumbs down, I actually appreciate that, because the way the YouTube algorithm works is just interaction on the video pushes the video more positive in the algorithm. So thank you for the thumbs up or the thumbs down, but we might as well hit the thumbs up. Memphis Grizzlies at the San Antonio Spurs. Next game on the docket. Project starting 5 for the Grizzlies. Ja Morant, Dylan Brooks, Kyle the Andersons got tickets to the game. How'd they get tickets? Brandon Clark, Xavier Tillman taking on Dejounte Murray, Lonnie Walker, DeMar DeRozan, Keldon Johnson, and LaMarcus Aldridge. This game, I had high hopes for Ja Morant the other night in this game, and he kind of let me down. I took some prop bets on him too. Played 28 minutes. Game got lopsided. He was well over a point per minute in that one. If the Grizzlies can keep this game if the Spurs can keep this game closer. The Spurs, I think, were in a tough spot back-to-back. I think it was the third game in 4 nights. They were in it. If they can keep this game closer, John Morant probably goes from 28 to 34, 35 minutes and can likely break a slate. Like, John Morant could just be, in retrospect, the most obvious 50 bomb in history, right? It could be the lockiest lock that ever did lock.
Loaded up on him and DDR last slate. Did not work out, and they're probably both going for 50 this slate.
But the thing is, like, and it wasn't John Morant's fault. It was DDR's fault.
Yeah, facts.
But if John Morant drops 50 tonight, you think about it. Oh, man, there was no Jonas Valanciunas. Oh, man, it's San Antonio Spurs. Oh, man, it's John Morant. Like, yeah, it's Jesus. So I definitely want to go back to the well on John Morant. Hope this game stays close. Not only is it projected to stay close, but the Spurs are projected to win. They're 3.5-point favorites. So I'm game with that. I'm also willing to go right back to the well on some Brandon Clark shares. And Xavier Tillman did get a price increase where he wasn't the free square, or he isn't the free square that he was that night. He played 21 minutes against the Spurs, 4 fouls, but was still over a point per minute. So if you thought maybe 25 to 28 minutes was in his future, I still think he's worth taking shots at, but maybe not at the same confidence and not.
Why did he get more minutes? Like, I thought he would play in a blowout too.
I don't know. The Gorgie Zhang did. I think Gorgie Zhang had like 30 fantasy points too.
Yeah,
so
no, he had a good game.
So even Zhang is somebody. If you thought you'd take some shots at him, 27 minutes, 33 fantasy points. So the front court definitely has some viable options for a deep field tournament. Especially, I think mostly they're just stocking stuff for options too, right? It seemed like the floor is strong enough, and maybe there's a ceiling there.
John Morant might be a tier 1. Like, this is get the last game out of my head. I just think he had that price tag. I mean, you brought up his history against San Antonio before last slate. I think he could be a tier 1.
Yeah, no, a strong history there, and then without Jonas Valanciunas, it's only a stronger usage. So, as long as the game stays close, yeah, John Morant could just be an undervalued. Like, he should probably be 8.5 here, and I think DraftKings his value is really there at 7.6. Especially DraftKings being more rewarding to point guards in terms of double bonuses, 3-point bonuses, less taxing on turnovers. So he's a stronger value likely on DraftKings than he is on FanDuel. So I'd take that 40 plus all day long, all day strong. Derek White came back in the mix, still got him at around 20 minutes. Dejounte Murray, I think, is still too cheap on DraftKings at 6.6. He's actually projected as one of the strongest value plays in my sheet based on projections. And then LaMarcus Aldridge needs to be talked about. He does. It's tough, but he needs to be considered. 26 fantasy points. He was a point per minute last game. He has 30-plus fantasy point potential. He has a strong history against Memphis at this price. So I probably have more than 0 Aldridge, and he's another guy. If that 26 minutes was like a 28, 32-minute game, is he really stun us? I think it's possible. Again, tier 3 at best, stocking stuffer. I'm not forcing
it. DDR is the real question.
717K for DDR. I might, if I end up with no DeRozan, I don't hate life. But as we saw in that Denver game, I might hate life. But even,
I mean, the game against Memphis, before that last game against Memphis, he dropped 50. He had the history of dropping 50s against them. Mm-hmm. He literally had his lowest floor. Yeah,
literally worst case possible, 2 for 6.
Yeah. It just seems like a great tournament spot, right? We'll go right back to it.
If you're banking on flop lag, flop lag's been a real thing this season. He's viable, right? You got to have goldfish memory and NBA DFS. Go for it. But I'm leaning more John Morant here. I just have higher faith in Morant. I do think the Spurs. I'll say the Spurs are getting a little bit cluttered.
They got bodies. Yeah, they got bodies.
They're getting cluttered. DeAnthony Melton also had a strong per minute game, and then Desmond Bane. I didn't play him. I think I saw that he has the highest 3-point percentage in basketball right now.
Who is he?
Desmond Bane's the backup guard for the Grizzlies here. So I mean, if you paint some scenarios, maybe just put that in your think tank for future. If Desmond Bane gets a shot against a 3-point suffering defense, he's not really chucking a lot, but yeah, he's extremely efficient when he does shoot. So just kind of keep that in mind. But I don't think I play him unless there was a reason to. Right now, there's not. So give me John Morant. I may end up with no Spurs, but I also may end up with some like Dejounte, DeRozan, Aldridge. They all have cases. I have to kind of see how my player pool shakes out for my confidence levels.
I mean, I want to say are they the deepest? Like, how many bodies do they have now getting minutes?
They have a lot. I have a lot of guys. Yeah. Even the bench, I have with the starters. I have 9 guys projected at 17 or more minutes.
Yeah, they just have a lot of guys playing decent minutes. So yeah, full fade in the Spurs. I get. Again, I think DeRozan knows me money, so I'll probably go back to him. But give me a lot of Ja Morant there. Like you mentioned, Jang and Tillman, and that center spot. I mean, they might get overlooked. Like Tillman probably would have hit that 30 mark and smashed at that price if he played 28 minutes and be uber chalk today if he did that. I don't hate it. I mean, Jang got a price bump too, 4.7, 4.8.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're just stocking stuff. If they get 30, that's cool. I want it. I'll take it. But am I tier 1ing it or coring it?
I mean, Jackson Hayes is 4K on DK, so I mean, they could easily outscore him, even if he starts.
Yeah. Anyway, we got one game left on the docket. Chat, reminder, green screen for sale every day, $20 if you want it. Twitter.com/Gundecker. Have some fun with it. It could be an ad for your business, but as you see, it could also just be like a picture of a player you like or a meme you like. As long as it's family-friendly, toss-friendly, and it's not toxic toward anyone else in the DFS industry, I'll allow it. And what else? Anything else? Oh, some of you guys, at the end of the last show, I tried to open a Top Shot pack, the Cool Cat thing. It was the whole fiasco. I finally opened it today. And Raj, I don't know if have you seen what Top Shots is?
Okay, so now like cards are being sold virtually.
Yeah, it's virtual trading cards, but instead of like a card, it's like a short video. I won the rights to buy a pack, and it was $15.
Well, you have to win the rights to buy a pack.
Well, I mean, that's just how like popular it is. It's. I can't. I feel like there's people watching that know more about it. Anyway, I opened it this morning, and I got like a Devin Booker, a Halliburton. I got a James Wiseman dunk, a Zion Williamson layup, stuff like that. Anyway, I was like, okay, now what do I do? So I list them all for sale, and I go to sleep. I wake up, and somebody bought the James Wiseman dunk for $350.
Bruh, I gotta get in on it.
It's like a 50, and I still got like this Devin Booker card. I think the lowest thing I'm seeing on this is like 300.
Oh, so that guy has a lot of bread.
I might make like $800 on a $15 raffle that I have no idea what's going on. So if you guys were watching the end of the last stream, that's who I ended up getting, and we'll see. I don't know. It's
wait. So did you set the price at the end, or did they bid, or
they have a market? And I undercut the lowest price, and I was like, all right, just because the MLB the show, that's what you do.
Why is Wiseman so expensive like that?
God effing no. One of my Devin Booker card, I looked on it. It once sold for $3,000, and now it's listed for like $200, $300. So imagine being the guy to spend $3,000 on a video, and now you can get it for $300. I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to, because some people were watching at the end of last stream, and they got that. Pistons at the Denver Nuggets, your main event tonight. Project starting 5 for the Pistons. DeLon Wright, Wayne Ellington, Jeremy Grant, Blake Griffin, and Mason Plumlee, revenge, taking on Jamal Murray, Monte Morris, Michael Porter Jr., Paul Millsap, and Nikola Jokic. The Nuggets could be without Gary Harris is out for the Nuggets. We saw Monte Morris start the second half the other night, expecting that to kind of happen again here today. The Nuggets favored by 7.5. Yesterday, Nikola Jokic did play against the Utah Jazz, went absolutely bananas, ballistic, berserk, every B adjective you can think of. He got a little bit more rest. It was a day game. So it is, a back-to-back, but it's not like a 8 p.m. to 8 p.m. back-to-back. Jokic at 10-9 on both sides could easily be the highest scoring player on this slate again. So maybe we think about that as a hammer. It is a 9 p.m. game instead of a 10 p.m. game. I don't know that I'm too excited to go elsewhere on this Nuggets team, but I guess you could make auxiliary cases for Jamal Murray. I'd probably rather play John Morant at this price point. Michael Porter, 5'6", 6'5". Sure, there's a range of outcomes for him to pop. Will Barton's 4 to 4,800. I think Will Barton at 4K. If I got him at 33 minutes, and what we might see them do is he might be the second unit point guard if Morris starts and Porter starts. But he played 37 minutes against Utah yesterday at 35. Will Barton at 4K. That's a
nice price tag on Will Barton.
At 4K on FanDuel, isn't it? Like I might do it.
I mean, like with Gary Harris out, Yeah, I would
It's
say.
just the minutes, right? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, so I'm there on that. On the Pistons side, DeLon Wright is in the conversation. Jeremy Grant 7.5, 7.8. I would hate for this to be the flop lag
Revenge
spot.
spot?
Sure, but I could see myself being low on Jeremy Grant after being high on him all week. So I probably should get tier 3 exposures of him just because he still has that usage rate. Blake Griffin's at that Aldridge price point, and then Mason Plumlee revenge spot. You can't forget about that one, right? So there's a couple guys here that like I think could make tier 3 late night hammer list, but I'm not too stoked for the game as a whole at 217 total. What are you doing here?
I mean, Jokic, same price as Giannis. I think everyone's going to click on Giannis. I think Jokic, same type of upside here. Amazing matchup. He should destroy the Detroit front court. I think I'm going to have some of him. I think he's a great G2P play. You mentioned Will Barton, no Gary Harris. A little bit of a bump for everyone, even though Gary Harris is not a big usage guy. At 4.8, give me some Will Barton here. Don't hate it. I think I'm going to have some Jeremy Grant. I think the revenge spot is real. Coming off a couple down games, I could see him, get right here. Give me a 45-50 at 7.8. I'll take that. But other than that, nobody else. I mean, this game could blow out too. What's the spread?
7.5.
Okay, so I mean, it's not terrible. Yeah, I'm probably not going to get to any Jamal Murray or any other guys from either team. Just Jeremy Grant, Jokic, and Barton.
Probably it for me. Jokic becomes interesting on FanDuel because I do think if that Steven Adams news opens up, and then if Drummond's out, and even Drummond would be replaced by a power forward.
I think every center is interesting. It's not a value guy.
10-9. Do I get 65?
You need to outscore Giannis.
You need, yeah. Or FanDuel, you might get both. You might.
Yeah,
there's guard value. There's 4K Will Barton. Yeah, you might get both pretty easily. Matter of fact, let's try that. So let's just put Giannis and Big Game Bingo. I don't know what that is, but let's put Giannis and Jokic. That gives me 5 per. So out of curiosity, just thinking value plays here. Jared Allen, not even a value
Javal
play.
McGee in there.
McGee, oh my god. Sure. We'll put Javal McGee. We'll put Barton.
What is your minutes projection for McGee, by the way, if those guys route?
I don't know. Probably 18 to 22. It's not obscene.
Yeah.
So I was able to get the 6K as is now, just putting Barton and McGee in there. So I don't think it's impossible to get us some Giannis stuff because there's other, like Ricky Rubio could be a thing and so on and so forth. So I think there's going to be plenty of ways to make some fun studs and scrubs lineups on FanDuel. Bobby W says, all right, give me 3 teams that win outright tonight. Outright, A for a parlay. Man, I'll probably go Bucks. Tonight's slate's kind of tough for pick'ems, man. I'd probably go Bucks. I don't have a confidence in any team. I guess maybe the Lakers if they're full strength. But even that, I'm not guaranteeing it. I don't know, man. This is a tricky slate for me to call out money lines here. Nuggets, Bucks, and maybe I dabble with the Heat beating the Hornets. I don't know, man. That's tough. I'd be more onto player bets today and parlays. Anyway, chat. Twitter.com/Gundacker is my Twitter handle. If you guys want to interact with me, I have that open. DMs are open. If you are interested in VIP, you have questions, hit me up over there. And then tomorrow's a Tuesday. Usually Tuesdays are 3 or 4 games. What is tomorrow looking like? Tomorrow's a 6-game slate. I need a minute.
One of those.
I need a minute. Is there a waist-high cup on my desk? I could knock it over with my hands up. Ready? Here, no. 6-game slate tomorrow. I'm happy. And the games are Raptors at the Magic, Clippers at the Nets. Ooh. Grizzlies at the Pacers. I take that. Blazers at the Wizards. Celtics and the Warriors. Okay. Pistons and the Jazz. Pistons got that altitude back-to-back. I can get down with this. Tomorrow, 6-game slate. So, 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. Maybe I meet in the middle at 3:30 again. 3:30 chat. We can make that happen. 3:30 p.m. Live stream tomorrow. Break down the 6-gamer. I'm happy. I'm happy to have a 6-gamer. That's it. That's the stream. If you guys want to show me some love on the way out, hit that thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, do so. Hit that notifications bell, because sometimes I don't schedule the stream until like 20 minutes before I go live. And when I do go live, you'll get that push notification on your phone, or if you have alerts on your desktop, that'll let you know that we are live. Otherwise, if you follow me on Twitter, I usually tweet it out as well. Should be a fun slate tonight. I'll be in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP Discord in about 17 minutes, chopping this slate up all the way until lock, having some fun, talking the breeze. I would be very, very, very happy to see you guys in the VIP voice chat, and that'll be it. 3:30 family, 3:30. All right, 3:30. We'll do it tomorrow. 3:30 Eastern is the 6-game breakdown, man. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I hope you absolutely crush it tonight. Tweet me your screenshots, your successes. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Central. Good luck. God bless. And go win some money.